Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Isa.
Good evening. Doctors want the province to declare a state of emergency to address our healthcare system. They say Albertans are being forced to wait too long to receive emergency medical care. CTV's Connor Hogg has more on what doctors want to see changed.
When I was here in emergency about a month and a half, I waited 8 hours and didn't see a doctor.
Robin Hinadiak is visiting the Misericordia Hospital for a short checkup today. She lives in Grand Prairie and comes to Edmonton for health care. Last year, she made the drive here when she had an infection in a jaw implant. She left without getting care.
I ended up driving to Whitecourt, and I was in and out of the emergency room within half an hour. So I don't know if it's more of a big city problem.
People can't get in to the hospital in a timely fashion. They're waiting 8, 10, 12 hours to be seen. And many are leaving without treatment. And if they're sick, they come back.
Doctors are calling on the province to declare a state of emergency so stronger measures can be taken to bring wait times down.
Right now, the only people that can help us is the Premier and the government to step up and say, absolutely, this is a problem and this is what we're going to do to address it.
Park says under a state of emergency, a coordinated effort could be made to free up space, like sending patients where room is available and using surgical beds for patient overflow.
Whatever it takes so that we can have a provincial response, so that we can do things that are provincial related, wide province kind of resources and response.
In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Hospital and Surgical Health Services says Alberta is facing long wait times due to the respiratory virus season. In Edmonton, hospitals are accelerating discharges, limiting transfers, and earmarking 336 beds for the seasonal flu. Dr. Paul Parks says Alberta needs one person with authority over the system.
We don't have anybody identified as the leader that would do any of those kind of things in a coordinated fashion.
A coordinated response to the issue, something this patient would like to see. Alberta's hospital ministry says it will continue to monitor health system pressures closely and respond to challenges as they arise. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The press secretary for the Ministry of Primary and Preventative Health Services says calls for a public health state of emergency are misguided. The man behind an Alberta independence referendum petition says canvassers are ready to answer questions about separation. Mitch Sylvester says the first signatures were collected earlier this week when the Alberta Prosperity Project held town halls in several communities. He says many more town halls are planned where Albertans can ask about the logistics of separation. Sylvester says the group has already worked out a draft constitution in the case the referendum is successful.
Within 2 months, we'll have a constitutional conference, and the people will get to decide how they want the government to look. And based on the Constitution, that will be prepared then. And then at that point, we'll move forward to an actual election within a year. That's the plan. But the government that's in place is going to have to make that transition smooth and going to be in charge of making that happen.
Sylvester says the goal is to collect at least as many signatures as the Forever Canadian petition. More than 450,000 Albertans signed that petition in favor of staying in Canada. The trial for a man accused in a deadly hit and run will go ahead. This afternoon, a justice denied an application by the man's lawyers to have both Crown prosecutors removed from the case. CTV's Amanda Anderson explains.
On what should have been day 4 of a trial, a justice instead heard arguments in an application to have 2 Crown prosecutors recused from the case. Lawyer Graham Rapson, who's not involved in this matter, says it's uncommon.
Something that only arises in a narrow set of circumstances that we don't see very often.
Peter Ashby is accused of driving a U-Haul while on the run from police that struck and killed a 45-year-old Fort Saskatchewan woman. Mr. Ashby deserves a trial that's fair, his lawyer told the court. Fairness is something the defense doesn't think is possible if both Crowns remain on the case because of meetings they had with identification witnesses. The defense took issue with the prosecutors taking on an investigative role to gather new evidence, and that one of the meetings happened without a third party present.
Meeting with a witness without another person present risks making the prosecutor a witness in the case.
The two prosecutors who are the subject of the application were not in the courtroom. A different Crown was brought in to argue why they should stay on. She described the meetings as imperfect practice and argued the defense doesn't even know yet if she'd call them as witnesses. During the decision, the justice said the Crowns did not acknowledge any of it was improper. It's just astounding that the gravity of the wrongdoing has not been recognized, she said, before ruling one of the two Crowns would be removed. The trial will go ahead and still within deadline set by the Supreme Court to conduct a trial in a reasonable time before the risk of charges being stayed.
Presumptive limit is 30 months or 2.5 years. And when the trial's already pushing up towards 2 years, the prospect of getting new trial dates for a lengthy and complex trial within 6 months is very difficult to schedule.
The trial will start tomorrow. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Wetaskiwin.
A section of 99th Street will remain closed until at least Saturday morning. EPCOR says on Wednesday there was a water main break near 99th Street and 60th Avenue. That prompted workers to close the street between 60th and 62nd Avenues. EPCOR says the break was repaired overnight. The road is still closed so crews can install a new valve. They are coordinating with the railway company to accommodate a nearby rail crossing. EPCOR expects 99th Street to fully reopen Saturday morning. The Alberta Motor Association is urging drivers to make a simple New Year's resolution, and that's to make way for the LRT. The AMA is highlighting 2 recent collisions as part of the reason for its request. In late November at 71st Street and 51st Avenue, a semi collided with a train. Last month, a truck turned against a traffic sign and hit a train near Churchill Station. An AMA spokesperson says the Valley Line presents challenges because most of the tracks are level with the road.
Because of that, we need to make sure we're really following the signs, which is, in this case, no right on red lights. That's how all of these collisions have happened, is people have turned right on a red when they weren't supposed to.
The city says since the Valley Line began running in November of 2023, 31 vehicles have collided with trains. AMA says during the same time frame, 6 collisions occurred involving pedestrians or cyclists. The hockey legend known as Mr. Goalie has died. Glenn Hall played in the NHL during the 50s and 60s as one of the last goaltenders to play without a mask. Now, he spent most of his life in Stony Plain, where the local arena is named in his honor. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more on Glenn Hall's life and local impact.
They play all the time in Stony Plain, but today's game of shinny is more meaningful than usual for these players after learning local legend Glenn Hall has died at 94.
This is his barn, right? It's named after him. He's played here. He's from here. It's a big icon. It's an NHL icon, Hall of Famer.
Every time you come in, you feel his presence here, and just kind of go out there today of all days. It kind of feels nice, like you're kind of almost with him in a way.
Glenn Hall was born in Humboldt, Saskatchewan, but he and his family called Stony Plain home for more than 50 years.
It was just his character, his focus on family, his focus on community. Those are the things that trickled down.
The arena bears his name, and a large mural on the outside depicts his life and hockey career. The accolades are almost endless for Hall. Over 18 years with 3 different teams in the NHL, he earned awards for top rookie, best goalie, 7 All-Star appearances, and a Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks. He also inspired players who came after him, like Cam Connor, with his record 502 consecutive games played, more if you count the playoffs.
He was always a soft-spoken man, very gentle, and probably a little crazy because who is going to play a net without a mask?
In retirement, Hall was always in the community. His grandson Grant recalls the attention and respect he received in Stony Plain.
I'd see that every time I went to visit him, and I know normal grandpas aren't signing 200 pucks over a 6-pack of beer, but I mean, it was always special when he was around. Very supportive.
Stevenson and the rest of the family are thankful for the kind comments and tributes they've seen for Hall since his death, now reflecting on the little moments that made him special to them.
Some of my best memories as a kid is his time spent on the farm with Grandpa Glenn, driving around in his truck, teaching us how to drive, or golfing with us in the front yard, stuff like that, skating on the slough.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Stony Plain.
The majority of Alberta teachers who weighed in on new mandatory testing for young students say it's not helping children get additional support. Alberta's education minister passed a bill in December adding a legal requirement for kids to get screened. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg has more on the results of feedback gathered last year.
In 2025, the province required teachers to conduct literacy and numeracy screenings for all kindergarten to grade 3 students.
I think it's great because it puts them in a situation where they're able to get extra help if they need it.
That's the idea, but many teachers say that's not happening.
Just getting them tested, they get this data handed back to them and no support in order to help these students thrive.
The province launched a survey to gather feedback. Over 3,500 people responded, most of them teachers of these students. More than 73% say the testing doesn't provide information that gets students more support. Alberta's education minister says they will consider the feedback.
So I think it's important that we do it, but if there's opportunities to tweak or fine-tune the timing, the frequency, other pieces, always happy to look at that.
He says that will include finding a way to inform families about the students' results.
When are they going to let us know? Because we are unaware about it. We have no idea.
Yeah, now that I know about it, I'm going to ask about it.
The vast majority of parents want to know where their kids are at so they can support them, if they can do some additional reading, some additional exercises at home.
The feedback also shows teachers are concerned about the time testing takes away from teaching and children being quizzed on skills they hadn't yet been taught, causing some of them distress.
They cry, they're upset, it gives them a negative connotation of school. And my colleagues are concerned about the harm that might cause students moving forward.
Some parents worry too.
It puts unnecessary pressure on young children.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
A University of Alberta researcher says ibuprofen is the best solution for treating pain in kids with broken or sprained limbs. A new study shows it works as well as other medications with fewer side effects. Researchers studied the use of ibuprofen on its own compared to its use alongside acetaminophen and its use with hydromorphone, a powerful oral opioid. The study found adding the other drugs made no difference in the pain.
And we think that's because ibuprofen is anti-pain and also anti-swelling. And when you break a bone or you have a sprain, the biggest problem is swelling. So if you get that swelling under control, we don't need to add on all these extra drugs that bring extra side effects. In my practice, I will use ibuprofen now.
Dr. Samina Ali says if a child cannot make it to their next dose of ibuprofen, her recommendation would be to give acetaminophen in between doses. Now, she says this is the largest clinical trial for children's pain for fractures and sprains that has been done in Canada. The study included nearly 700 children. Crews in Calgary have successfully removed a damaged section of the feeder main and welded in a new pipe segment on a critical section of the Bearspaw South feeder main. Now, the city calls this a key milestone, but stresses the pipe is still several steps away from full service. According to city engineers, to restore the feeder main, they will need to refill a 7-kilometer section and then test the water quality and stabilize system pressures. Refilling alone will take another 48 hours and use 22 million liters of water. It's expected during this phase that the pipe will be under heightened stress, elevating the risk of another break.
We always knew the pipe was operating in a reduced capacity and in a real fragile state, but we were monitoring it. What we learned on December 30th is while monitoring helps to reduce risk, it doesn't eliminate it. And so we need to be ready to go and do additional repairs to improve the ability that we can get this line through until the replacement line's done.
Crews have also begun temporary protections along the Bow River, removing sections of flood barriers and installing new ones to prevent neighborhood floodings. Well, coming up next, part 3 of our crime tape series of this week on how a murder suspect fought back against the system once he was set free.
Good evening. Not a bad day today. Edmonton, we saw a high of -2 degrees, -5 in Red Deer, -10 in Lloydminster, a high level. You're looking at -22 degrees today, but towards the south, above freezing, 1 degree in Calgary, 2 in Medicine Hat, 3 in Lethbridge, and a warm-up is on the way just in time for the weekend. Those details coming up.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
In the 90s, Jason Dix spent 4 years as a suspect in the murders of Tim Ordzik and James Dieter. For much of that time, he was under the subject of an undercover investigation. Then he spent nearly 2 years in jail. Once he was set free, he decided to fight back. CTV's David Wasik with the conclusion of this story from the crime tapes.
Once the Crown dismissed the 2 murder charges against Jason Dix for lack of evidence, he hired a lawyer for a civil case. Dix filed a $14 million suit against many of his accusers for malicious prosecution. Here's what it looked like when the judgment in that case came down on our crime tapes.
I had absolutely nothing to do with this, and, I go to my grave with I had absolutely nothing to do with it because it's the truth.
He's been saying it for years, but police and prosecutors were never buying it. A judge, though, has ruled that for the anguish he received from investigators in the Crown, Jason Dix will receive nearly $765,000. Dix wanted a lot more. He wouldn't speak to the media today, but his lawyer says Jason Dix is happy.
Jason was going to be here. He was here, and he feels that he would rather spend some time with this judgment. He's authorized me to say to you that he's satisfied with the judgment. He's pleased with the judgment and appreciates the work of the trial judge in putting it together.
Dix was always the main suspect in the deaths of James Dieter and Tim Ordzik. The 2 men were originally believed to have been electrocuted on October 1st, 1994 at Crown Packaging Limited. An autopsy revealed police were wrong. Both men were shot in the head at close range. The case would prove to be a lesson in futility for the Sherwood Park RCMP. A long and expensive undercover operation had officers posing as gangsters, showing Dix $1 million in cash, pretending to commit murder, and yet yielding no confession.
Are you a parent? I asked you a question. I'm a man. Don't insult me. Did you understand what I said?
On the advice of my lawyer, I have nothing further to say.
Answer me, you parent.
Once arrested, Dix continued to deny any involvement in the double murder. The police interrogation, 11 hours straight, was described in the judgment as nothing short of disturbingly surreal.
Are you taking it? If we're taking this, it's without my knowledge. Look at me. Look at me. If we're taking this, it's without my knowledge. Look at me.
Dix would be held in jail for nearly 2 years. During his trial, there's allegations prosecutor Arnold Piragoff misrepresented evidence. That's when the case fell apart. Alberta's Justice Minister says mistakes were made, but there's no word if they'll appeal or pay the money.
It looks like things were done, judgment calls were made, decisions taken which ought not to have been by the prosecutor that was involved.
Dix was paid a judgment of nearly $765,000 for malicious prosecution. It was a far cry from the $14 million he'd asked for, but still a major win and a second black eye for Mounties who fumbled the crime scene from the start. Justice Keith Ritter in his decision said both police and the Crown were cloaked in malice in this case. Jason Dix, he moved away to Saskatchewan soon after. The Mounties continue to use the Mr. Big scenario in their undercover investigations. And as for the families of the victims, no one else has ever been implicated in the murders of Tim Ordzik and James Dieter. Thanks for watching the crime tapes.
Two very classic cars are rolling into the Reynolds, Alberta Museum. This 1930 Packard Standard 8 Phaeton was previously owned by 2 Alberta artists. The province says it's a rare example of a pre-war luxury car. Another family donated this 1931 Cadillac Model 370A. It's the only known Canadian-built V12 Roadster that still exists today. The museum says the cars will be on display sometime this spring. But still to come, Wildlife Camera has given us an inside look at the animals that roam an Alberta provincial park.
We've had to move at least 1 or 2 cameras just because ants have made an anthill right by the cameras.
Friday
on your morning, dating through the generations. Is Gen Z looking for something different than millennials, and is that making it harder to find a partner? We'll see it soon.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by the Billy Joel Songbook with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Good evening. Here's a look at what we can expect as we head through the overnight hours. A look at our satellite imagery today. Not too bad at all. That front moving its way towards the east. We do have clearing through the overnight hours towards the northwest corner of the province. Tomorrow morning, we'll start off at minus 12 degrees for Red Deer, minus 11 for Calgary. Further north, high level, you'll see minus 32 degrees to start off the day and minus 23 for Peace River. So as we head through the day, we will see mostly cloudy skies, but there's the line of flurries as mentioned earlier tomorrow morning, just around 8 o'clock. Not a lot of accumulation whatsoever, but a dusting of snow is possible heading through the evening hours. That's when you'll see snow for the northwest corner of the province, high level and Peace River. A couple of centimeters of snow expected through the evening hours, and then heading into Saturday late in the day, and that's when we're going to see that clearing with the ridge of high pressure building. So the next 24 hours looks like this: overcast skies for 9 o'clock and for midnight. In 8 o'clock, we'll see a chance of seeing a flurry or two. A few breaks expected for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The high is minus 5. You'll see minus 6 degrees for 6 and 9 o'clock. And heading into the weekend, that's when a warm-up is on the way. As you can see, the ridge and the jet stream tomorrow will stay cold. But then Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at temperatures above freezing, and we'll see temperatures just around the 4-degree mark. So tomorrow you're looking at mostly cloudy skies for high level at minus 22, a few flurries for Slave Lake and Whitecourt, temperatures between minus 4 and minus 11. Minus 18 degrees for with mostly cloudy skies for Cold Lake. Banff minus 3 with some sunny breaks. That's what you can expect for Calgary with a high of 1. Mostly sunny skies not showing up for Lethbridge. 2 degrees, minus 8 for Coronation. And for Edmonton, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a few flurries around the 8 o'clock hour, kicking off the weekend with sunny breaks on Saturday. Mostly sunny skies on Sunday, 4 degrees. Monday and Tuesday, we're looking at mix of sun and cloud. But look at those temperatures. A balmy 6 degrees for Monday. Tuesday, we'll see a high of 5 degrees. And the next 10 days, not too bad at all. It's looking nice and bright with a few clouds for Monday and Tuesday, stretching all the way into Friday. Gets colder for next week, Saturday and Sunday. Blue skies and sunshine with temperatures between minus 7 and minus 12. Back to you.
A provincial park that is used by more than 3 million people annually is also home to a variety of animals. Cameras are revealing all that wildlife has quite the nightlife. CTV's Kevin Fleming has more.
There are 19 wildlife cameras in Fish Creek Provincial Park that are triggered by movement. They're set up in remote areas off the beaten trail and capture all sorts of animals in the park, day or night.
What we're finding is that the Fish Creek Provincial Park area is a wildlife corridor. So for wildlife coming from Tsuut'ina Nation, from the Rocky Mountains, they're actually using Fish Creek as a way to get through the city of Calgary.
The park measures 13.5 square kilometers, and the cameras are part of the Calgary Connect program, run by the Mistaki Institute since 2017.
We don't want pictures of people. That is absolutely not what we're going for. And in fact, the program that Mistaki will use to analyze the photos removes people's images automatically.
Ross Anderson says volunteers with the society maintain the cameras every few months, changing batteries and switching SD cards.
We've had to move at least 1 or 2 cameras just because like ants have made like an anthill like right by the camera. So yeah, when our volunteers check them, they need to be somewhat accessible.
Anderson has also been trying to capture images of some of the 80 beavers that live in the park. But when he sets a camera up, they're hard to see because they're working in the bushes.
It's kind of tricky. There was a couple spots that I thought would be really good where I set it up like facing like a active beaver channel, but when I set it up there, I actually didn't get much action from the beavers, but that's the spot where we did get the video of all the raccoons kind of washing their hands in the water.
With the beavers, we have more birds, we have better success with fish spawning, especially important given Fish Creek is a feeder stream for the Bow River.
The society wants to use any video it gathers of the beavers to help educate the public on the importance of the species in the park. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
A Canadian rock band is coming to Edmonton as part of a special 5-stop tour. 20 years ago, the Sam Roberts Band released their second album, Chemical City. Frontman Sam Roberts told CTV's Your Morning they had to fight for the record because the label wasn't happy with it. Now, Sam Roberts Band plays the Northern Jubilee April 18th, and tickets are now on sale. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.